to put a final and permanent lock of gnosis, of procuring within your gnosis, my dear, most honorable and esteemed viewer, this entire premise about the Pleiades, the seven sisters, the seven stars of the Pleiades, and the Anunnaki, extraterrestrial gods ruling us from time immemorial. I have a few photos to share with you and much knowledge concerning the number 7, which the number 7 in gematria is the number of organization. Now, while I'm pulling up these photos to share with you, my dear and most esteemed viewer, please consider the number 7 and all of the associations and how impactful the number 7 is and how ubiquitous the number 7 is in our life, in our daily lives. So this first photo right here, I want to bring to your attention, my dear and esteemed viewer. This first photo just referring to my notes here, is the largest, to date, the largest Assyrian monolith yet to be discovered. It measures, make sure that you can see that. It measures 11 feet, and by the way, my most dear and esteemed viewer, this is going to be a rather lengthy video, so if you're not into all this information, just hit a thumbs up anyway, give me an A for effort. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we shall proceed forthwith. But this, what we're looking at here, victory stele of Esarhaddon, king of Assyria, from 680 to 668 BC. And this was found at Sinjerli, now in the Berlin Museum. It is the largest Assyrian monolith yet discovered. Measures 11 feet in height, 4 feet in width. Above and in front of the king's head, this victory stele of Esarhaddon with 7 dots for the Pleiades, with the Anunnaki gods. So we have, not that one. So thank you for your patience, my most dear and esteemed viewer. And so here's the these 7 dots. If you can see my cursor, that's in reference to the Pleiades, and all these other symbols and all this information is very, very information dense. These various staffs right here, from staff of Marduk, staff of Enlil, Enki, the ram, all these are representative. All this information, this figure with the lightning bolt, these are all gods of the Anunnaki that basically terraformed this planet, that basically created humans at the time that they arrived here on this planet from the Pleiades. So all of these symbols, but what I want you to pay particular attention to, if I may be so bold, be so presumptuous, demanding for your attention, my dear and esteemed viewers, these 7 dots. So this is very old information, and that's what these 7 dots are referring to, the Pleiades, and that's what purpose of this video. Getting a little slow start, but starting to pick up steam here, folks. The digital matrix is doing its utmost to distract me and you from our current endeavor to talk about the Anunnaki, the Pleiades, the 7 sisters, and how the number 7 and all of this impacts and is so much a part of our lives, our consciousness. But that photo that we were just referring to was the victory stele of Esarhaddon, 7 dots for the Pleiades, the number of symbols, the various symbols that we were looking at was the bearded figure was Anu, or Ashur. Then there was Ereshkigal, the goddess that was on the lion, Belet, Enlil with hands extended, riding on the animal. Then there was Ishkur Hadad Raman with the lightning in the left hand, and we had the staffs that we were looking at that I pointed out, the spear-headed, spaded Marduk, the double staff of Nabu, staff with the ram's head bent over was Enki, mace with 2 dog heads is Ninurta, crescent symbol Nanar, or Sin, and the winged disc, Utu Shamash, but Shamash is the name of the sun in the Sumerian language. It may be the same in Assyrian as well, Proto-Assyrian, but then the 16-pointed star, Inanna Ishtar, and of course the 7 stars, dots, are the Pleiades and the Sebutu demons. And of course the main figure in that photo is King Anu, the supreme leader of the Anunnaki. And his Sumerian name, it means sky, Anu, An. And his wife Antu are the ancestors of all the Anunnaki gods. They're the first. They're the main, deities. But they're not really deities, right? It's they're higher dimensional humans, at least 5th dimensional. I know like Enki's fifth dimensional human and whatnot, but Anu and Antu, they're a little bit more elevated. But incidentally, the word God starts with the letter G, and is the 7th. G is the 7th letter in our English alphabet. There's no end to this number 7, so strap your seatbelts on. This is no coincidence, because Anu, An, is the big G for God. And where do Anu's kings of his earth meet? Every year, coincidentally, the group of 7. That's right, at the G7 summit. So these are all the Anunnaki rulers, but I believe, I don't know how many of them, I don't have any privy knowledge about dividing the Anunnaki amongst the negative, dark cabal versus, the ones that are trying to work with the forces of light to, basically all become part of this new golden age. But I know Marduk and a lot of what he was involved in, and as leader of the cabal and, the Masons and all that. Those people have been taken out, those Anunnaki. And, it goes back and forth. A lot of people have different opinions of Enki, Enlil. They're higher dimensional humans. They're not gods. So it really doesn't matter to me how they're branded or how they're adjudicated. I'm not a judge. I'm not of the Ashtar command, at least in my 3D awareness. That's all I'm going to say about that. I do have higher dimensional awareness, but it's not necessarily something that I want to share or discuss. But the G7 summit, G is the seventh letter. And the 7 is why Jesus, or Immanuel, says to forgive in Scripture. 7 times 7, 49. This number 7. Anu wears the divine horn cap, and his animal is the bull, which equals the bull of heaven, from the constellation that is in his control, called Taurus, the bull. Anu is believed to be the supreme authority for all the gods and for mortal rulers, and is said to be the one who contains the entire universe. All right, so I mean, that being said, it would sound very unwise to say it is just the Pleiades as the point of origin for the Anunnaki. And there are Anunnaki, and just this word just means for those who from heaven to earth came, right? I'm sharing knowledge about those particular Anunnaki from the Pleiades. Okay, now you got to keep in mind that the diaspora of the Adam Kadmon from Lyra, from the diaspora and the sending out of the Adam Kadmon form to the various star systems from Lyra to escape the horrific destruction and invasions of the reptilians and basically the artificial intelligence hive mind, alpha draconian forces that sought to wipe out all human forms. But there's Anunnaki from Sirius, from the Orion constellations, but this is knowledge that's focusing on Pleiades, which I believe is part of my that there's a reason why I'm drawn to this. It's the Pleiades, the 7 sisters, the stars, have factored prominently in my development and knowledge and gnosis. So I'm sharing this. This is not meant to say, this is, there's many histories and involvements for all people, and that's what's exciting about this new golden age, is that knowledge is to be shared and opened and disclosed for all of us to share. You don't need to give your power away to people. I see a lot of people that are, still in these chat rooms. I was just in a chat room watching people and kind of, interacting. I'm not going to mention any names. I don't like to stir up controversy, but it's almost a lot of these people are being groomed to give their power away. Like, I don't really see anybody trying to, except for Ishmael Perez. I got to give it. He actually has videos where he states, do not give your power away, and there's a lot of that going on right now. I mean, there's a lot of questioning. There's a lot of people that are thirsty for knowledge, and they're looking for answers, and they're seeking people out that are on YouTube that have confidence and sharing information. But they're still kind of missing the point of all this ascension process, and that's to stay within your own self, your gnosis of self-empowerment. Enough of that. But anyway, so we have Anu of the 7 sisters Pleiades, identify with the North Pole, centered in the Draco, Alpha Draconis. There's a lot of this that I'm still figuring out and still trying to understand the interplay between like the different star systems, and I mean, there's a whole. Well, I'm gonna probably hold up here because I don't want these videos to run too long. But just to kind of touch back with the Pleiades, the Anunnaki, there's a whole history, cosmological history, that deals with the seeding of life here on this planet. And I think to end this video is, to touch back with the number 7, and to begin to understand perhaps that life and the investigation of knowledge and the way all this has been set up is far more fascinating than to give your power away to the digital matrix, to sign off, get strapped into the metaverse, which is a digital concentration camp, and have your energy just stolen from you, taken away from you. You're just nothing but a human battery at that point, and just to get out of this consumptive mindset of consumption, of having a passive sort of a passive existence, a posture, if you will, but to have more of a self-empowered posture where you are lifting back the veil with your own investigation. Yes, I believe the veil has been thin and will be thin, continue to be thin, and in particular, we are in the month of when at the end of this month, Samhain that is traditionally when the veil, the thinning of the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest, at its most discoverable. So, I would just say get fascinated with your own research and knowledge and sharing of knowledge, and don't be a passive consumer, and don't give your power away to people. Man, it's just pathetic. There's so many predators out there. They are not shy about trying to latch onto you and farm your attention, your information. Just put them in their place. There are no more. There is nobody from in this entire existence, from first dimension, second dimension. All is alive with Source. There is no one more important above anyone else in this whole cosmic existence of the multiverse. We are all aspects of Source, even from the lowest rock. It's all alive. I mean, have a conscious awareness of the interconnectedness of all within the divine matrix, and unplug from the digital matrix. So I'm gonna kind of come back and talk about a little bit more about the Anunnaki and the Pleiades and that connection. I've got some fascinating information from the Book of Enoch, where Jesus in the Book of Enoch is the white bull, and so I want to share information about that and how all this interconnectedness of knowledge, ancient knowledge from the Bible, which is nothing but Biblos, of the Chronicles of Baal, and all this. So there's a lot of information and a lot of motivation and an incentive to discover your own information, and don't be so quite pathetically passive and have things handed to you as a consumer, and reclaim your own power and hit that subscribe button.
Namaste, namaskaram.